Today, we are privileged to have with us His Excellency President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China to be here and deliver a keynote address to the APEC CEO Summit. 2 weeks ago, the Communist Party of China concluded its successful 19th National Congress. At the Congress, general principles and action guidelines were laid out for China's development going forward. It is a Congress of milestone significance. As a major engine for global economy, China's development is having growing implications for our region and beyond. So what major steps and new opportunities will a growing China present to the Asia-Pacific and the world? And what new efforts will China make to promote economic cooperation in the Asia-Pacific? Let us find answers to these questions from the following keynote address. May I suggest a round of applause for His Excellency President Xi Jinping. Chairman Wu Tianluo, leaders of the APEC business community, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good afternoon. I am pleased to come to Da Nang and meet all of you again. Da Nang is indeed a beautiful city. On my way here from the airport, I'm deeply impressed by the beautiful scenery. Our region, the Asia-Pacific, has the biggest share of the global economy. It is a major engine driving global growth. The business community is a primary contributor to growth as it keeps exploring new ways of development. That is why during the APEC economic leaders meeting over the last several years, I have always taken time to meet business leaders and discuss with you approaches and measures to address the challenges we face. It has been 10 years since the international financial crisis broke out. Over the last decade, the international community have worked in concert to steer the global economy back to the track of recovery. Thanks to our efforts, the global economy is now improving. Despite risks and uncertainties, global trade and investment are picking up. People are more optimistic about the outlook of financial markets, and confidence is growing in all sectors. Development is a journey with no end. It has one new departure point after another. An ancient Chinese philosopher once observed, "We should focus our mind on the future, not the past." We live in a fast-changing world. The global economy is undergoing more profound changes. We must therefore closely follow the trend of the global economy, identify its underlying dynamics, keep to the right direction, and on that basis, take bold action. We are seeing a profound change in growth drivers. Countries are turning to reform and innovation to meet challenges and achieve growth. The potential of structural reforms is being unlocked, and its positive impact of boosting growth of countries around the world has become more evident. A new round of technological and industrial revolutions is gaining momentum. Digital economy and sharing economy have registered rapid growth. New industries, as well as new business forms and models, are flourishing. As a result, new growth drivers are being created. We are seeing a profound change in the model of global growth. As time advances, development has taken on profoundly richer implications. The vision of innovative, coordinated, green and open development for all is gaining increasing public support. To achieve more comprehensive, higher quality and more sustainable development has become the shared goal of the international community. To implement the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and adapt to climate change and other challenges of a global nature has become an important international consensus. We are seeing a profound change in economic globalization. Over the last few decades, economic globalization has contributed significantly to global growth. Indeed, it has become an irreversible historical trend. Against the backdrop of evolving global developments, economic globalization also faces new adjustments in both form and substance. In pursuing economic globalization, we should make it more open, more inclusive, more balanced, more equitable, and more beneficial to all. We are seeing a profound change in the system of global economic governance. The evolving global economic environment demands more from the system of global economic governance. We should uphold multilateralism, pursue shared growth through consultation and collaboration, forge closer partnerships, and build a community with a shared future for mankind. This, I believe, is what we should do in conducting global economic governance in a new era. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, faced with the profound changes in the global economy, should we, the Asia-Pacific economies, lead reform and innovation, or should we hesitate and proceed haltingly? Should we steer economic globalization, or should we dither and stall in the face of challenge? Should we jointly advance regional cooperation, or should we go our separate ways? Here is my answer. We must advance with the trend of the times, live up to our responsibility, and work together to deliver a bright future of development and prosperity for the Asia-Pacific. First, we should continue to foster an open economy that benefits all. Openness brings progress, while self-seclusion leaves one behind. We, the Asia-Pacific economies, know this too well from our own development experience. We should put in place a regional cooperation framework that ensures consultation among equals, wide participation, and shared benefits. We should build an open Asia-Pacific economy and promote trade and investment liberalization and facilitation. We should make economic globalization more open, inclusive, and balanced so that it can benefit different countries and people of different social groups. We should proactively adapt to the evolving international division of labor and actively reshape the global value chain so as to upgrade our economies and build up new strengths. We should support the multilateral trading regime and practice open regionalism to allow developing members to benefit more from international trade and investment. The building of a free trade area of the Asia-Pacific is a long-cherished dream of the business community in our region. It was in response to the call of the business community that APEC leaders initiated the FTAP vision in Hanoi in 2006. Then in 2014, the FTAP process was launched in Beijing. We must get into action, fully implement the Beijing roadmap, move toward the FTAP, and provide an institutional underpinning for an open economy in the Asia-Pacific. Second, we should continue to pursue innovation-driven development and create new drivers of growth. The current global economic recovery is largely driven by cyclical factors, and the lack of self-generating driving forces remains a nagging problem. To avoid the risk of the global economy entering a new mediocre, we must sustain growth through innovation. The new round of technological and industrial revolutions is unfolding before us. The digital economy and sharing economy are taking the world by storm. Breakthroughs have been made in new technologies such as artificial intelligence and quantum science. We cannot afford to act like onlookers. What we should do is to seize the opportunity, increase input in innovation, change development model, and nurture new growth areas. We should promote structural reform and remove all institutional and systematic barriers to innovation, and to energize the market. We should implement the APEC Accord on innovative development, economic reform, and growth adopted in Beijing. We need to deepen cooperation on the internet and digital economy and strive to be a global leader of innovative growth. Third, we should continue to enhance connectivity and achieve interconnected development. Interconnected development is the best way to achieve mutual benefit and win-win outcomes. We, the Asia-Pacific economies, are closely connected, and our interests are interlocked. Through interconnected development, a new vista will be opened up for our respective development, while a strong boost will be given to the common development of our partners. In 2014, the APEC Connectivity Blueprint was formulated. This blueprint should be our guide in building a comprehensive, all-round, and multi-tiered network of Asia-Pacific connectivity. We should boost the real economy through greater connectivity, break bottlenecks to development, and unlock potentials. Through these efforts, we can achieve coordinated and interconnected development. In May this year, the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation was successfully held in Beijing. The Belt and Road Initiative is a joint endeavor with a clear focus on promoting infrastructure development and connectivity, on strengthening coordination on economic policies, on enhancing complementarity of development strategies, and on boosting interconnected development for common prosperity. This initiative is from China, but it belongs to the world. It is rooted in history, but it is oriented toward the future. It focuses on the Asian, European, and African continents, but it is open to all other partners. I am confident that the launch of the Belt and Road Initiative will create a broader and a more dynamic platform for Asia-Pacific cooperation. Fourth, we should continue to make economic development more inclusive and deliver its benefits to our people. The current headwinds confronting economic globalization is mostly generated by the lack of inclusiveness in development. If we are to bring the benefits of development to countries across the globe and people across our society and turn our vision into reality, then hard work is still needed. Over the past few years, we have actively explored ways to promote inclusive development and have built strong consensus about it. We should deepen regional economic integration, develop an open and inclusive market, and strengthen the bond of shared interests. We should make inclusiveness and sharing a part of our development strategies, improve systems and institutions that uphold efficiency and fairness, and safeguard social equity and justice. We should invest more in education, medical care, employment, and other areas that are important to people's livelihood. We need to address poverty and the widening gap between the rich and the poor. We should reach out to disadvantaged groups, improve the business environment for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, and enable the workforce to better adapt to industrial transformation. This way, everyone can have his fair share of opportunity and benefits.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, as an old Chinese saying goes, a commitment once made should be delivered. Boosting development in the Asia-Pacific requires real actions by all the members. As the world's second-largest economy, China knows fully well its responsibility. Over the past 5 years, we have taken proactive steps to adapt to, manage, and steer the new normal of China's economy and deepened supply-side structural reform. As a result, China's economy has maintained steady performance. And we are pursuing better quality, more efficient, fairer, and more sustainable development. Over the past 4 years, China's economy has grown by 7.2% on average annually, contributing over 30% of global growth. China is now a main driver powering global growth. We have worked hard to remove systematic and institutional barriers that impede development through comprehensive reform. As many as 360 major reform initiatives and more than 1,500 reform measures have been taken. Breakthroughs have been made in key areas. General frameworks for reform have been put in place in major sectors. We have stepped up efforts to build new institutions of the open economy and transform models of foreign trade and outbound investment to continue the shift from quantitative to qualitative improvement in trade. We have advanced theoretical, practical, institutional, cultural, and other explorations to unleash new impetus for growth. China has become a huge platform where all factors and players of innovation converge to make a real difference. From infrastructure to various economic sectors, from business models to ways of consumption, innovation is leading the way. We have pursued a people-centered philosophy of development to make our development more inclusive and beneficial to all. Individual income has registered sustained growth, outpacing GDP growth for many years. Income gaps between urban and rural areas and between different regions have been narrowing, middle income group expanding, and Gini coefficient dropping. More than 13 million new urban jobs have been created every year for 4 consecutive years. Significant advances have been made in pursuing green development, resulting in considerable reduction in the intensity of energy and resource consumption and marked improvement in the ecological environment. To lift all the remaining poor people out of poverty is a solemn commitment made by the Chinese government to the people. It is uppermost in my mind, and I have spent more energy on poverty alleviation than anything else. Over the past 5 years, I have been to many poor areas in China to pin down the causes of poverty and address these problems in a targeted way. As a result, decisive progress has been made in the fight against poverty. Over the past 5 years, we have lifted more than 60 million people out of poverty. The poverty headcount ratio has declined, and per capita rural income in poor areas has maintained double-digit growth. This has not come easily, and we are proud of what we've achieved in poverty alleviation. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, China's development is an evolving historical process. Last month, the 19th National Congress of the Communist Party of China was successfully convened in Beijing. Responding to our people's desire for a better life, the Party Congress formulated a guide to action and the development blueprint for China in the new era. It is envisaged that by 2020, China will turn itself into a moderately prosperous society in all respects. And by 2035, China will basically realize socialist modernization. By the middle of this century, China will become a great modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. Under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese people will embark on a new journey. First, this is a new journey of deepening reform across the board and unleashing dynamism for development. To resolve difficulties and problems on the way forward, we must deepen all-round reform. We must focus more on resolving problems, get rid of all outdated thinking and ideas and all institutional ailments, and break through the blockades of vested interests to inspire creativity and vitality throughout society. We will develop a set of institutions that are well conceived, fully built, procedure-based, and efficiently functioning, and achieve modernization of China's system and capacity for governance. Next year, we will celebrate the 40th anniversary of China's launching of the Reform and Opening Up Initiative. China's reform will cover more areas, and more and stronger steps will be taken in pursuing this endeavor. Second, this is a new journey of moving with the times and exploring new model of development. China's economy is in a transition from a phase of rapid growth to a stage of high-quality development. We'll be guided by a new development philosophy, put quality first, give priority to performance, and develop a modernized economy. We will pursue supply-side structural reform as our main task, work hard to achieve better quality and higher efficiency performance, and create more robust growth through reform. We will raise total factor productivity and accelerate the building of an industrial system that promotes coordinated development of the real economy with technological innovation, modern finance, and a talent pool. We will endeavor to develop an economy with more effective market mechanisms, dynamic micro-entities, and sound macro regulation. All these efforts will make China's economy more innovative and competitive. We will promote further integration of the Internet, big data, and artificial intelligence with the real economy, and cultivate new drivers of growth in digital economy, sharing economy, clean energy, and other areas. We will continue to explore new mechanisms and pathways for achieving coordinated development among regions, promote coordinated development of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, Yangtze Economic Belt, Xiong'an New Area, and Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Greater Bay Area, build world-class city clusters, and foster new source of growth. As China works hard to pursue innovation and a higher quality of growth, new forms of business will keep emerging. New innovations will be applied, and development of various regions in China will become more balanced. All this will create a more powerful and extensive impact, present more opportunities of cooperation, and enable more countries to board the express train of China's development. Third, this is a new journey toward greater integration with the world and an open economy of higher standards. China will not slow its steps in opening up itself. We will work together with other countries to create new drivers of common development through the launching of the Belt and Road Initiative. We will adopt policies to promote high-standard liberalization and facilitation of trade and investment. We will implement the system of pre-establishment national treatment plus a negative list across the board, significantly ease market access, further open the service sector, and protect the legitimate rights and interests of foreign investors. All businesses registered in China will be treated as equals. We will grant more powers to pilot free trade zones to conduct reform and explore the opening of free trade ports. We will speed up negotiations with partner countries on the concluding of free trade agreements and investment treaties, advance the building of FTAP, work for the speedy conclusion of RCEP negotiations, and endeavor to establish a global network of free trade areas. In the next 15 years, China will have an even larger market and more comprehensive development. It is estimated that China will import $24 trillion worth of goods, attract $2 trillion inbound direct investment, and make $2 trillion outbound investment. In November next year, China will hold the first China International Import Expo in Shanghai, which will provide a new platform for expanding cooperation in China's market among all parties. Fourth, this is a new journey toward a better life for the people. To secure a better life for our people is what we aim to achieve in everything we do. We will ensure and improve living standards through development and meet people's ever-growing needs for a better life. We will continue to promote social fairness and justice, to see that our people will always have a strong sense of gains, happiness, and security. We will continue to implement targeted poverty reduction and alleviation measures, and ensure that by the year 2020, all rural residents living below the current poverty line will be lifted out of poverty. Each and every one of the over 1.3 billion Chinese should lead decent lives. No one will be left behind. We will speed up reform of the system for ecological conservation, pursue green, low-carbon, and sustainable development, and implement the most strict possible systems for environmental protection. By 2035, there will be a fundamental improvement in the environment. The goal of building a beautiful China will be basically attained. We will actively tackle climate change and protect our common home for the sake of human survival. China's carbon dioxide emission is expected to peak around 2030, and we will make every effort for such emissions to reach the peak ahead of time. We will increase the share of non-fossil fuels in primary energy consumption to around 20% by 2030. Once we set a target, we will not stop our efforts until it is met. Fifth, this is a new journey toward a new type of international relations, a community with a shared future for mankind. The dream of the Chinese people is closely connected with the dreams of people of other countries. Our world is full of challenges, and the road ahead will not be smooth. But we will not give up on our dream. We will double our efforts and work with all others to build an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that enjoys durable peace, universal security, and common prosperity. We Chinese believe that peace is most precious and that there should be harmony among all nations. We are committed to peaceful development, and we will remain an anchor for peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific region and beyond. China will, guided by the principle of upholding justice while pursuing shared interests, actively develop global partnerships, expand the convergence of interests with other countries, and work to foster a new type of international relations featuring mutual respect, fairness, justice, and win-win cooperation. Acting on the principle of achieving shared growth through consultation and collaboration, we will get actively involved in reforming and developing the global governance system to make the international political and economic order more just and equitable. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, all of our people in the Asia-Pacific deserve peace, stability, and prosperity. And all of us in the region should jointly deliver a bright future for the Asia-Pacific. Partnerships based on mutual trust, inclusiveness, cooperation, and mutual benefit. This is what keeps our big Asia-Pacific family together and ensures the success of Asia-Pacific cooperation. Let us take solid steps to promote cooperation and usher in an even brighter future for the Asia-Pacific. Thank you.
习近平主席阁下的主旨演讲
Thank
高
you,
屋建瓴，
Your Excellency, for your wonderful speech. You underscored the major transition taking place in the world economy, pointed out the way forward for Asia-Pacific cooperation, elaborated on the new journey of China's development launched by the 19th Party Congress, demonstrated the bright prospect of common development of China and other Asia-Pacific partners. This is a real boost to our confidence in our win-win cooperation. Let's once again express heartfelt thanks to President Xi with a warm round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to remain seated.